Now on KGW News at 5, why Portland firefighters have started letting some outdoor fires keep burning.
Don't get any response from Portland Fire because it's not a high priority.
Plus, did you get any gift cards for the holidays? How Oregon's AG says you can protect them and yourself when it comes to fraud. And later.
This is a huge opportunity to highlight Oregon's bounty.
3 dozen food shops all in one place. A look at the plans for Portland's first public market in more than 70 years. But first.
Our top story at 5, the Oregon Ducks are now less than 48 hours out from their first Orange Bowl appearance. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Padawanich. The team is making the most of their time in Miami, and so is our Orlando Sanchez, who caught up with players about how they're getting ready for the big game. Hey, Orlando.
What is good, guys? Yeah, I mean, 3,000-mile flight, check. Practice, check. Media day, check. It has been a busy 24 hours for the Oregon Ducks since they touched down right here in Miami ahead of their first ever Orange Bowl appearance, where they'll take on 4th-ranked Texas Tech. And for the players, it's trying to soak it all in and really own the moment, but also balancing that with preparing for a game and not the occasion. Oregon is one of 8 teams still in the hunt, competing in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff.
Kind of like the biggest thing, of course, is being able to play in Miami, play in front of the fans, play in the playoffs. It's everybody, it's every kid's dream to be here.
A reason why players come to Oregon to compete on a stage like this at the Orange Bowl.
It's awesome to be here. I'm very excited. Just never experiencing this before. It's been something I really want to experience. So now making the stage is just incredible.
For the vets, it's one more shot at history, bringing that first national title to Eugene.
When you're going through the process of things, realize that this is the coolest thing you'll do in your life. That was number one. And number two, don't make the game bigger than it is. We play the game every single day in practice. We've played big games throughout the season. You've played in big games through your entire career. Play the game, not the occasion.
So being able to be on a national stage, playing against one of the best teams in the nation, at the Orange Bowl in Miami, it can't get better than this.
Obviously, there's not much motivation necessary for a game like this being on this stage, but just rewind to 1 year ago, we all remember what happened at the Rose Bowl. And one of the factors in that game, argue with it all you want, was rest versus rust. The Ducks were off for 3.5 weeks last year. This time around, they're not dealing with that same challenge, but their opponent is Texas Tech. We'll talk about that coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, I'm going to enjoy what is about 70 degrees out here in Miami in front of Hard Rock Stadium, home to the Miami Dolphins and the site of the Orange Bowl. Yeah. I'm not trying to rub it in too much, but I'm enjoying my time out here.
He's not trying to rub it in, right? How many days is he going to be there for?
Oh, my God.
He's rubbing it in. Rest versus rust. I think you better get some rest because you're going to have a busy few days, my friend. Orlando Sanchez outside Hard Rock Stadium. We'll see you at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, right. I don't believe him one bit when he says he's not trying to rub it in. Let's bring in our chief meteorologist, Matt Safino. Matt, the Ducks, they're not worrying about the cold during the Orange Bowl, as you just heard Orlando talk about. So what's the forecast for that game?
I doubt they would care if it was pouring down tropical rain down there. They got a big game coming our way. But you look around the country, there's a lot of clear sky. But down in Florida, this time of the year, it's usually good, and it is. There's a band of high clouds about to kind of interfere Orlando's evening a little bit. Oh, high clouds. Oh, no, right? But the forecast is pretty great. This is the hour-by-hour temperature for New Year's Day in Miami. And at kickoff time, already in the 60s. They'll top out a little bit cooler than today, about 68, but stay in the 60s. Their morning lows will be in the 40s, which is about as cool as our afternoon highs will be in Oregon. But since we're talking about warming and warm weather, it's been a warm December in Portland. We are on track for our warmest December ever. Through yesterday, it is, looking at our average temperatures, our warmest December. Now, the cold mornings today and tomorrow may bring that down a little bit, but we're going to be right there. As you can see, that's the case throughout the region here in Western Oregon. What's ahead is one more cold morning, and we'll get into rain as we begin the new year. We'll talk about how much later, guys.
Well, I guess we'll take what we can get. Okay, thanks, Matt.
Developing tonight, what appears to be a controversial shift in how Portland responds to homeless campfires. Let's bring in Blair Best now live at Portland Fire Station 1 downtown. Blair, this has to do with whether crews should respond and put those flames out. What have you learned?
So the city of Portland is reviewing its policy around warming fires. Meanwhile, Portland Fire and Rescue is changing how it responds by allowing homeless people to burn small, low-risk, contained fires. But I'm told it's on a case-by-case basis and ultimately up to the firefighters' discretion.
This ho-ho homeless.
On a used pizza box, Haley writes her plea for help under the Morrison Bridge.
Came out with like $15, so.
She plans to use that money to build a makeshift fire once the temperature drops at night.
I usually use a coffee can and like hand sanitizer or alcohol, with cotton balls in it. And if you put it together right, it kind of makes almost like a little jet stove.
The city of Portland is reviewing its policy around when they put out fires like the one Haley plans to build.
If all the information aligns with what we consider a low-risk fire, we could permit that to continue without even responding.
Graves at Portland Fire and Rescue says if the fire is contained and not threatening any structures, fire crews will allow it and try and connect people with shelter.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually, because I know quite a few times, we had a fire truck come around and hose our stuff down.
What we found is if we go respond to these scenes and just extinguish the flames and leave, the population that's utilizing the flames in an open setting, in a contained setting that's safe and low risk, will often hide. They'll move into an alleyway, they'll move up against a building, or even worse yet, inside a tent.
That's absolutely problematic.
People like Matt Sisson has seen damage from a homeless campfire.
The fire department's guy, they had to saw into it and everything, and flames were coming out the top. It was crazy.
This video shows his Southeast Portland apartment complex in flames last year after a fire at a nearby camp spread.
This whole building was on fire. It's just now redone. This is a year later.
These are densely populated areas, and it just takes a fire getting out of control with a lot of wind.
Linda Witt in Portland's Pearl District says officials have not been responding to the open fires popping up in her neighborhood.
I think it's another example of the mayor's laissez-faire attitude about crime. We are 2 blocks away from the Northrop shelter here, and we're 8 blocks away from the day shelter at Oasis. So there's no reason at all for people to be living outside and setting fires that can harm other residents.
Okay, so again, first responders will try and connect people with shelter, but emergency warming centers are not currently open in Multnomah County. A city spokesperson tells me that this year they are working more closely than ever with the county by making it so city-run shelters can stay open 24/7 during cold weather events. Back to you.
All right, Blair Best now down along the waterfront this evening. Thank you, Blair.
We have new information tonight on a shooting in Portland's Hazelwood neighborhood. The shots were reported before 11 o'clock last night on Northeast Gleason, just east of I-205. Police say a 51-year-old man was shot and taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Officers arrested 2 people, an 18-year-old and a juvenile. The 18-year-old faces an attempted murder charge, and both are accused of assault. And today we also learned the name of the man police shot and killed in Vancouver. He was 44-year-old Perry Sellers. The medical examiner says he died from a gunshot wound to the torso late Saturday night. The Washington State Office of Independent Investigations is now looking into that shooting. In an update now, it was an upsetting afternoon for one family who had to witness the remains of their son being removed from a Portland cemetery plot.
And that came after the cemetery sold the same piece of land twice. Tim Gordon's here. Tim, this involved a lengthy court battle and appears a whole lot of heartache.
Yeah, it certainly does, David. This is not something that Tiber Harrison's family wanted to do, but legally they had no choice. And we want to warn viewers, some of the video shows the disinterment happening this afternoon. This is a story we've been following for a few years now. Harrison was a 20-year-old college student when he was hit and killed by a car in Florida in 2016. In 2021, his mother bought a plot at Skyline Memorial Gardens on the top of a bluff and buried a memorial vault there, which includes some of her son's cremated remains and other things. After that, the cemetery realized it had previously sold the same plot to the Reeser family and filed a lawsuit against Tiber's mom, Paula, to force the disinterment of Tiber's memorial. The cemetery won, That led to today and the very difficult time for Tiber's mom, 3 siblings, and other family and friends who gathered to see his remains and memorial items removed from the earth. A 1,500-pound granite bench, also part of their memorial, lifted away. A mother reliving extreme grief and angry she's been forced to find a new home for her son. We spoke with her husband after the process was complete.
There's a great deal of anger. I think that, bigger picture, this company should not be able to perform business this way.
So we received a one-sentence statement from Skyline Memorial Gardens saying that they wouldn't be commenting. As for Tiber's family, they plan to continue looking into an appeal of the lawsuit decision that led to this. David?
Very somber afternoon for them. Tim, appreciate your reporting there. Well, tonight the University of Portland is mourning the death of former athletic director, coach, and student athlete Joe Etzel. Etzel spent over 3 decades as the Pilots athletic director. He also spent 21 seasons as head baseball coach and 4 years as a 2-sport athlete for UP. Etzel is regarded as one of the best pitchers to ever wear a Pilot uniform. Etzel died on Sunday at the age of 87.
In a consumer alert, it is the season for gift cards, whether you're giving them away or using them, and scammers know it too. That's why Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield, along with attorneys general from 13 other states, have partnered with the Gift Card Fraud Prevention Alliance to put on public service announcements and help people spot red flags. Here's a clip from AG Rayfield's PSA.
Here's what you can do. Inspect packaging to ensure that it's sealed and that the pin is covered. Only check balances at the official retailer's site. Never pay a debt or claim a prize with a gift card. And report gift card fraud to my office. Learn more at protectmygiftcard.com.
The AG's office says if scammers know a PIN, they can monitor it. Then once it's loaded, drain the money before it's used. Thieves may also use emails, text messages, or look-alike sites to trick people into providing their gift card numbers. A reminder, government agencies and reputable companies will never demand payment via gift cards. And if they ask you to take immediate action or keep it a secret, those are red flags.
Good reminders all around. Well, straight ahead on KGW News at 5, we're following up with those impacted by this month's atmospheric river, how the Red Cross is making sure they get the help they need.
Plus, looking for New Year's Eve plans? Eve plans, I mean. A look at some free celebrations you might want to check out.
I had a neighbor who always used to have a New Year's Eve party, which would be today.
Hey, let's do it.
We should go to Atlanta.
We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back. 2 weeks after an atmospheric river caused the Clackamas to overflow its banks near Estacada, Red Cross volunteers are still going door to door and offering help to those affected.
Our Libby Dowsett is live in the Paradise Park neighborhood where people are still cleaning up. Libby.
Christine and David, the river to my right here came over its banks and seeped into houses behind me all along Paradise Road here, into the basements, into the crawl spaces, and spread out through this neighborhood. Now the Red Cross is trying to figure out who still needs a helping hand. Today, volunteers went door to door with a list of damaged homes. Volunteers say they can help connect people to local resources or even offer some money to replace items that were washed away or damaged. They also assess damage for those residents still away from their homes.
I can usually look for where water levels were on the outside of the house and get a pretty good idea of the kind of damage they may have incurred.
It definitely came up into their neighborhoods and stuff, but luckily most of the homes that we've been in contact with, the water damage was to non-living areas. In other words, it came into the basement, it came into the garage.
And if you have some problems that you need assistance with after flooding, those volunteers say simply call Red Cross at 1-800-RED-CROSS and expect to see them canvassing neighborhoods like this in the coming weeks to find people affected by the floods. Back to you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate them helping folks out. Libby Dowsett along the Clackamas tonight. Thanks, Libby.
Yeah, definitely glad we're past that. Now we're dealing with cold temperatures, though, but beautiful skies.
Cold mornings, but mild afternoons, so really not a bad deal after the flooding rains of December, of which we had way too much.
No kidding.
I'm done.
Glad that's over with, and hopefully it doesn't come back for the rest of the winter. Let's take you up to Mount Hood right now. Skiing is happening. In fact, night skiing is happening at Timberline right now, looking out down on the Bruno's chair. A beautiful, beautiful evening. There's Mount Jefferson on the very right-hand side of your screen with the clear sky. Temperatures dipped on down to 38, but all in all, this time of year it's not that cold up there. Meanwhile, a little bit of light left in the western sky, southwestern sky. From our Explorer to Tualatin Valley Sky Cam at the Reserve Golf Course at Washington County. Just beautiful, 44 degrees, and the east winds continue to blow. They're not super strong, but 13 miles an hour that far away from the gorge tells you that we still have outflow coming out of the gorge. Made it up to 50 around much of the metro area. The airport a little bit cooler. McMinnville 50, Aurora 50. So again, slightly above average for this time of the year. It was 55 at Tillamook, 35 at Pendleton, and we had 59 down in Brookings for the hot spot in the state this afternoon. Now the wind gust for you. Corbett had a gust of 65, Troutdale 47. Similar to yesterday, a little bit stronger in the gorge, a little bit lighter in the West Hills, and the winds will continue to weaken, but they don't completely end. Notice the colors stay at the western part of the gorge here, so some gusts of 30, maybe 40 miles an hour again up at Crown Point. But for the Portland area, should be a nice day. Frost in the morning again, down to about 33, but we climbed to 50 in the afternoon with the very late December sunshine, right? Okay, high pressure's over us. You see the clouds streaming north up into BC, but look at all this cloud cover going into Southern California right now. And this is actually where our next batch of rain is going to come from the south, as this system moves into SoCal and will produce some pretty heavy rain down there, gusty winds, and some heavy mountain snow too. We just get showers left over from that, and it looks like they'll come in a little bit earlier than it looked like they would yesterday. So we'll still be dry for New Year's Eve. That's good, but by Thursday morning, New Year's Day, January 1, showers beginning to roll from south to north across western Oregon. And the one trouble spot for the holiday may be east of the Cascades on New Year's Day morning because of the cold air trapped in the Columbia Basin. We may get some pockets of freezing rain out there. So if your plans take you out on I-84, for instance, early in the morning on Thursday, get ready. It could be icy out that way. We'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, rain in the valley is not all that heavy. And as we go beyond the weekend and into next week, a couple 3 inches or so on the southern Oregon coast. So they're going to get the heavy rain down there. So that's as this system comes up from the south. We get weekend showers. Then it sort of morphs with a northern system, moves on out. This is the system I'm watching for later next week. This is next Thursday. That's a colder storm. Could bring us some heavier Cascade snow And then it moves on out and provides snow for the Intermountain West. But if you look at our snowfall forecast here, right now anyway, it looks like the heaviest snow would be in the central part of the state. Mount Bachelor, Willamette Pass picking up more than Mount Hood. Even Anthony Lakes would get more than we would. So we'll have to wait and see the exact track of that system. We're 44 right now. Look at that freezing level. It's up at 13,100 feet. That's incredibly high for late December, of course. Sunshine, morning frost again, but not as windy. The wind's backing up to about 15 miles an hour. Here's the 7-day forecast. New Year's Day, increasing showers as we go through the day. So a good day to watch football games, right? Starting with the Ducks in the morning. 47 the high, and then our lows will be in the 40s and our highs in the low 50s for the first several days of 2026. So the theme of warm weather from December will continue, it looks like, or resume, I should say, but the rain won't be nearly as heavy.
Okay, sounds good. But for the time being, I'm okay with our clear weather, at least for tomorrow.
It's kind of pretty.
It is.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
We'll run with it. Straight ahead, the update on the public market in the works that leaders hope will bring a big boost to downtown Portland. That's next.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back. For decades, city and state leaders have tried to bring a public market back to downtown Portland.
And now it appears we are just about 1 year out. Thomas Schultz has the update.
We are here on Southwest 6 in Alder, where this building right behind us will soon become the James Beard Public Market. It'll have 38 shops, and these are things like bakeries, a butcher, and even egg vendors. And project leaders say this will change the look of downtown Portland. The Rose City hasn't had a public market in more than 70 years. The goal is that this place becomes a hub, somewhat similar to Pike Place Market in Seattle or public markets that you see along the East Coast in big cities. At the same time, leaders want to ensure this isn't just a tourist destination, but a place where locals come and buy their groceries too, boosting downtown and the local economy.
So this is a huge opportunity to highlight Oregon's bounty, support small businesses, create economic opportunity, and revitalize downtown Portland.
Construction is currently ongoing, and project leaders say that the first stores could open here by the end of 2026, with more coming online in 2027. Now, coming up a little bit later this week, we're going to give you a full sneak peek of what's behind those doors and some of the key aspects of what this market will bring to Portland. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Looking forward to that. We are just over 24 hours out now from New Year's celebrations, and as you plan your evening, keep in mind here, Peabody is offering folks a way to get home safely by offering discounted Lyft and Uber rides.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, you can visit Peabot's website to download a coupon for $10 off your Lyft or Uber ride in the city. The coupon is valid starting at 7 p.m. December 31st until 4 a.m. January 1st. The catch here, though, is that your ride must start in the city of Portland. Also, coupons are limited, so get them before they're gone.
By the way, did you know the city of Portland is throwing a New Year's Eve party complete with a drone show? The event in Pioneer Court Square is free. It'll feature a dance party starting at 8. At 9, the first family-friendly drone show begins, leading up to the countdown, of course, starting at 11:50. Of course, there will be food and beverages all night long as you head home early or stick around to ring in 2026 in person.
Wow, the drone show from last year was cool. But you know what? If you'd rather skip the crowds, you can ring in 2026 right here on KGW+. We'll be featuring celebrations from across our region, and they'll all be leading up to the big New Year's at the Needle Show in Seattle. It's happening tomorrow night right after KGW News at 11 on TV and on KGW+. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Welcome back. Well, you heard us talk about some New Year's Eve options before the break. Here is one more. How about watching a giant cherry drop?
Though without the rain this year, I think, right?
Lucky.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is getting ready for its annual Bing in the New Year. It's so cute. It's a family-friendly celebration from 6 to 9 tomorrow, ending in the dropping of the cherry. So the Bing cherry was first grown in Milwaukee back in the late 1800s, and the cherry drop was started to honor that history.
I love it. Coming up new on KGW News at 6, if you've been having power problems in Northeast, we now know the reason why.
What Pacific Power told us today after several of you wrote into us wondering what on earth was going on.